Welcome to the Life Chat Podcast, seeking the truth with Derek Powell, navigating you through. Every Wednesday night, new topics ignite. Join the journey, let's take flight. Bringing insights that change our view. Derek's voice, clear and true. Tune in each week, discover new light. Life Chat Podcast, reach a new height.
Welcome once again, everybody, to Life Chat Podcast. Thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for being a part of the solution instead of part of the problem. Just want to talk a little bit tonight. I have a kind of a headache going on, so I'm kind of off right now. It's pounding, and actually, it's pounding on one side. I don't understand that, but just for the night, for the topic being holistic healing. Maybe I can get a little insight on how I can heal this headache holistically with Miss Tara Z. I'm just gonna say Z because I don't want to chop her name up. I don't want to mess her name up. So I'll let Tara give you more information about how to pronounce her name. But we're talking about holistic healing with Miss Tara Z. Bringing her on stage right now. Hello, Miss Tara Z.
Hey, how you doing? Zakszeski.
I am well, Tara.
You can call me Zach.
Tara Zach. Okay, Miss Tara Zakszeski. Tara Zach. Just leave it at that. So we're talking about holistic healing, Tara. Talk a little bit about holistic healing, and this is, I think I explained before, this is not the first time that I've had someone on discussing holistic healing, but I wanted to do this specifically because I want to get different viewpoints on it from different people, and on this topic of holistic healing, because some people, just like me, don't really understand what holistic healing is and the benefits and the practices of holistic healing. So can you just give us a little background about the topic of holistic healing and how it pertains to you specifically?
Specifically, this journey is very personal. I had my own bouts with medical issues, and I'm allergic to pharmaceuticals, so they just don't work for me. So, a long time ago, at this point, it's been about 10 years, I started having issues with my back, and I could, they want to put you on everything under the sun. And I just had reactions to it. And for my own personal reasons, I did not want to become addicted to anything else. So with that being said, I have two mentors that I am understudies that really took their time to teach me holistically how I can heal from the gut going out, and everything really does start in the gut.
I heard that a few times before about things starting in the gut. And when people say things start in the gut, what does that mean? What does that entail? What's the detail behind that?
Well, it's environment, it's the foods, it's the processed foods, it's the heavy metals, and they even come from the products that you use every day, your soaps, your dish soaps, your shampoos, your conditioners, processed foods, meat products if you eat too much meat. It causes inflammation, and the inflammation then wreaks havoc in your body, and which is where disease comes from, and it goes in different forms through your body, from your liver to your kidneys to everything else in between.
So with these practices, with the holistic practices, how would I utilize, what would I utilize to boost that, as far as I always hear people talking about what's it called, your immune system. And I think that's a big part of when you talk about things starting from the gut. I think that the immune system, all that is intertwined. So how would one boost that?
Well, you first got to cleanse. I start with a cleanse with all my clients. I believe in cleansing first, because you can't put clean oil on dirty oil, and that's the best way to look at it. And cleansing in itself will get the inflammation down. And a cleanse could be parasite cleanse, and as well as something for your toxins out of your blood, a lymphatic cleanse out of your bloods and organs. And it's very natural cleanse that I utilize, all natural herbs. And
Some of this stuff is all this. Is some of this stuff like over the top, or is it basic, simple stuff that we don't really understand holistic practices? Is it something that we can practice on our own, that we can just pick up on our own? Like, for example, I explained a few minutes ago that I have a headache right now. I do have a headache going.
Mhm.
So what would be something that you would suggest for somebody that has a headache? Let's start off with something small.
Well, I do. It, it depends on from the headache. You said it was one side,
Hmm.
correct? Do you have
Yes,
any? I would start with asking you. Do you have any issues with your eyes? It sounds like it's stress related, really. Or
I,
um, what is your
I've been
diet
dealing with.
like today?
I've been dealing. You don't want to know about my diet. My diet consists of fried foods and snacks. But I've been
Yeah,
dealing with some stress.
yeah.
Actually, I really have been dealing with some stress for the last couple of weeks. Some personal
Hmm.
stuff, stuff I've shared on social media. But on top of that, just running around and doing different things. So there's a little bit of stress there, and I do need to work on my diet. But I love food. I love food so much. But yeah,
Well, you can still
I
love
just want.
food and eat right.
Sure, sure, sure. And people tell me this all the time, but I just wanted to know, like, holistically, since this the topic, holistic healing. Um, w- what are some of the remedies that you had?
Well, some of the wonderful things are juicing. I love to incorporate juicing in a daily. Something simple to get inflammation down, like a beetroot, carrot, ginger, turmeric. That brings inflammation down as well. It gives you vitality, and it would surprisingly help with your headaches, as well as you have
Turmeric.
more energy.
Turmeric must be at the top of the list because I always hear people talk about when people discuss holistic healing or holistic remedies. One of the first things they always normally mention is turmeric, and
It's because
making a paste out of it for certain things.
that's because it's huge for anti-inflammatory. It's a huge anti-inflammatory. Ginger and turmeric together are a dual component for inflammation, and inflammation is the root of all evil. That's the cause of everything.
Okay. All right. Also did have a couple questions uh, that wanted you to answer because a lot of me personally, I'm a person in recovery, and a lot of people that I'm connected with are people in recovery. Is there anything that we uh, need to look out for as far as if we decide to go the holistic route? Is there any harm, or is there always a benefit to
All,
holistic practices?
all benefit. Yeah, I actually have numerous clients who are in that same situation, and I've seen tremendous results from and people getting off of medication. I actually have. I'm delving into it deeper, but I actually have people who have stopped. I have a gentleman who is a client who has been smoking weed for the I don't know 50 plus years, and he no longer smokes. He doesn't have any cravings, and it's all from just putting the right things in his body and adding the herbs and the supplements that are created to do what it is that your body's designed to do, which is heal and be well.
So if I don't, maybe I heard this wrong, but did I just hear you basically say that there was a holistic remedy that you put somebody on that's been smoking weed for 50 years? I don't know if this is Willie Nelson or
No,
what, but
no, it's like
he was smoking weed so was this an actual way to wean him off of
he has
smoking
no more
marijuana?
cravings. Yeah, well, it was partially that. There were some other issues that he had, and he's no longer smoking marijuana today. And he's not the only person that I've had some success that I'm still going with, and hoping to get them, delve into the Suboxone and the methadone as well, and see if I can't get people off of those and naturally be able to detox.
And that sounds like somebody that has a wealth of experience, a lot of experience, put a lot of time and effort into uh, dealing with these holistic practices. So I actually want to know how what's your background with these practices? How long have you been doing this, and what was your reason? What was your motivation for becoming or you are a practitioner? So what was your reasoning behind?
Well, previously I was in the medical field. I was in cardiology, rheumatology, gastroenterology, OBGYN, and I realized that everything was a pill. Everything they did, they wrote a script, and it was based on what drug rep they liked the best. And so I got out of that in my 20s, and I was always into my health, had my own personal issues, and I'm an understudy for Dr. Black and Temple University. He healed his wife of cancer, and she's now returning like to her mental state from dementia, and that was all holistic. He helped me with my menopause and some other issues I had. And I had some issues with my gut health as well, where I was throwing up for a year straight, and I was about a step away from cancer. And they put me on Prilosec, but me having the medical background, know that Prilosec will block your acid. Your body needs a certain amount of acid to break down food. I was too acidic. I need to alkaline my body. So I've been taking Prilosec in probably 4 years now. But and I'm now and I had issues with my back where I was in the hospital for a month and a half, and they told me I was going to have back surgery. I can run like FloJo now, and it was all holistic.
Okay, FloJo. FloJo number 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I asked that question because, sometimes people just want to know what makes another person, uh, what gives another person permission to say that they can do this or they can do that. So I just like to ask that question for a little background purposes. But
I don't know if you also, Doctor. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm listening.
Oh, Dr. Sabi's son, Victor Bowman. A lot of people are familiar with Dr. Sabi. He's also taught me a tremendous amount. I do a lot of business in Philadelphia, and I studied under him he's following in his father's footsteps. So I've had the privilege to study with some really very influential people that have taught me a lot. And I'm going back to school myself. So.
I actually just saw a video not too long ago. Actually, maybe within the last couple of hours with his son on. So it's kind of ironic that you mentioned that. But
Victor Bowman, he's
I
awesome.
do want to keep asking these questions for my own personal knowledge and for other people's personal knowledge that might be watching or that's going to watch later. But for adults, is there any difference between adult and children with these remedies or practices?
Well, it's all an individual process. Actually, you really have to everything is personal. That's why the service is concierge service. Like each person is individual. However, that's why I say the beginning of every regimen starts with a cleanse, because the inflammation it has to be brought down before you can put anything on top of into the system, so that you can have maximum absorption for the herbs that go in. So the children, whether it be a child or an adult, the herbs are, you know what I mean? The herbs will never hurt either one. Of course, you have to make sure that if they're on medication, certain things. So it's no different than when you go to the doctor's office and you have to answer questions, and then everything is, client by client based.
Let's talk about that cleanse. I want to talk about that cleanse part because I think that's the second time that you mentioned it. Cleanse.
Mm-hmm.
What does the cleanse consist of?
So I have a lymphatic cleanse that I love, and it's part of the Ayurvedic diet, and it's a root.
Don't forget that you're using terms that I'm not familiar with. So.
Yeah. So it's a root. So I do a simple root for the lymphatic system, and also some fruits and some seeds that will naturally cleanse the gut. And also a simple cleanse, a parasite cleanse, because actually a lot of people are walking around with parasites. Most people are walking around with parasites and don't know it, but it comes from food.
I noticed that there was a topic once before about parasitic infections or parasites, and it was basically geared toward meat, specifically beef. A lot of times people discuss pork, but beef, what I found out through watching different things and reading different things, beef was way up there when it came to the parasite. So is there a not the process but the time frame? Is there a time frame as far as the cleanse? Okay,
well,
a lot of things depend on weight, age. Okay, I'm 51 years old, 6 feet tall. I'm an African American. Well, I'm a black man. So does that all play a part? And how does that work?
It'll play a part, but generally you want to do about for a cleanse about 30 days. We'll say 30 days is normal, and it's very important in them 30 days when you are cleansing that you do not put certain things into your body, and you truly cleanse, and you're getting the raw vegetables, and you're getting the fruits that you need, and cutting the meats out. You really want to, and you'll start feeling better just from doing something simple like that, just cleansing. I'm not telling you have to cut your meat out altogether eventually, but when you're cleansing, but from 2 weeks to 30 days. So it all depends on how dirty you are too. It
Trust
depends
me.
on your diet going in.
Trust me. There's a lot of bacon in here, and a lot of chocolate chip cookies in here. Trust me, and honey buns. So I know I'm going to need a lot of prep. I'm going to need some consultation and a lot of preparation. Speaking of that, is there a prep process, and what would that be? A preparation process? Because I'm sure you don't just jump straight into a cleanse.
Well, the prep process really is just eating right as you're taking the cleanse is a very natural cleanse. So you are jumping into the process by cleansing, and that's just changing your diet, putting the capsules into your system, and eating the fruits that I will tell you to eat, and water. You can continue. Like I have custom blend teas that I make. You can add them. You can start adding the teas to your regimen, but all of that plays a part. But that process is an ongoing process, and you'll realize how good you feel, and you'll start to want to make that. You'll have more energy just from doing the cleansing. You'll start changing your diet. You just naturally. I don't really have to do anything. I just,
Okay.
you'll want to.
All right. So it's basically like working out. I know at one point when I used to work out, if I got up in the morning and I didn't work out, I just felt completely off. So that's just like anything else that you get accustomed, that your body becomes accustomed to. Your body craves it, so now your body's
Yes.
going to crave that as well. I understand. I definitely understand that. I wanted to ask you a couple more questions. The first question I want to ask is, what are the benefits? What have been the benefits to you when you initially started following these regimens and processes for yourself?
Oh goodness. Well, naturally, my mood, my hormones, my weight. I naturally am like a constant weight. I look younger. My hair is growing like crazy. The benefits going. My energy. I feel
Hold
like
on,
I'm
hold on,
having
hold on,
more
hold
energy.
on, hold on. Did you say your hair was growing?
My hair keeps getting thicker.
Well, I know we need to talk about that because I need
Okay,
some.
yeah, I got some stuff for you. Yeah, my energy is amazing. I can run circles around these young people.
A lot of you run circles around me. Trust me, I ain't moved to. But anyway, I hear a lot of people discuss this topic, and they talk about the spiritual aspect, spiritual benefit, and I guess it's going to depend on the person. It's going to be a person to person basis. Um, but have you noticed? Did you notice any differences there?
Yeah, actually, I've always been spiritual, but I'm more connected at this point. I'm more centered, and it has a lot to do, and it has a lot to do with. I think that when your food is wasting the energy. I mean, when your body's wasting the energy digesting food, a lot of times you are. That's why you have fasting, and you hear it a lot in the Bible. They're always fasting. You feel more connected because your body isn't wasting the energy on breaking down food. It can actually connect. That's why intermittent fasting is huge too, because your cells can regenerate and properly work.
I'm
So
I'm definitely glad you mentioned the word fasting because I think a lot of times we as people uh, misinterpret words, and I think the word fasting only simply means to abstain from. Right? Um, so to abstain from something, I know for me, part of that spirituality part is, and the fasting is not fasting from food. Obviously, my belly tells that, but fasting from sometimes it's certain people, sometimes it's certain conversations. Some people call it being antisocial, but sometimes I just don't want to be. I don't want to attach myself to certain individuals with certain conversations. Certain, as far as cussing, that's my thing. I don't cuss verbally. Sometimes I might slip here and there, but that's a spiritual thing for me. I don't know if it makes sense to anybody else, but for me, it makes sense to me because I know what that does to my brain. It triggers something in my brain. It just takes me to a
Mhm.
different place. That's just the way I feel. But yeah, the fasting part is definitely huge. And with fasting, um, how does how do those two connect? Since we're winding down, how do you connect the two?
As far as what do you mean connecting what to?
The fasting with the with the cleansing. What is the
You
connection there?
Well, fasting is something that is very good to do. I highly recommend fasting. You can start with a 12-hour fast. You don't necessarily have to go all in into 24 to 48 hours, but intermittent fasting resets your body, it resets your digestive system. It allows your body to have a break on digesting and be able to reset, and your gut and you're actually naturally cleanses during your fast. So you're not having, it doesn't have to work so hard. Um, you can connect a lot better with your how do I put this? I'm trying to put it into terms that don't sound complicated. It's highly
Make it
recommended.
complicated. Make it
No,
complicated. Make it complicated.
it's highly recommended. It's highly recommended. And it actually, you'll see it, intermittent fasting is something that's necessary for your body and your gut. Um, and that, go ahead.
So
That we'll keep it
so
at
once
that.
again, you mentioned the gut. You mentioned the gut again. So and you mentioned re was it re-energizing, recharge? I guess recharging, re-energizing your
Hmm.
body. So is that a way of saying that right now, if a person is eating something, right? They eat something and we haven't been practicing the practices that you mentioned, and now our body is working harder to break this stuff down. But after the cleanse, it's like a brand new start. It's like a brand new car. It's just ready. It's just revved up and ready to go. So you're breaking down everything, and everything's running smoothly. Even in from your actually, I think I understand is even your bowel movements will be different. Your urines, everything will be different. What you take in, everything coming out is going to be totally different.
Well, yeah, that's another thing with the cleanse. There's a lot of things that are impacted in you from years that you don't actually release, that have to come out, that you would be really surprised about. But we don't have enough time for all that.
Yeah.
However, yes, it's just like a car. Where our bodies are like a car. Just like you have to change the oil, you have to change your oil every so many miles. It's no different. Like, this is something you want to do, cleanse like every 3 months to keep your gut. And I go to the gut because it's the portal to everything. The portal to your soul is the portal, because everything you put in affects all organs. It affects your brain. It affects your cognitive. It affects your nerves. Your, so it really is the portal to everything. That's why I always go to the gut first, because most people are, just like you change oil, you don't want to cease your engine.
You just made me feel guilty again. This topic always make me feel guilty about my eating habits. I guess I'm just an old car just sitting in the garage rusting away.
It's okay. You can get it. You can get restored.
Thank you. Thank you. See? I knew it. I knew it.
Mhm.
But so I did have one more question for you. How can um how can anyone that wants more information or wants to reach out to you, how can they contact you or um get up with you?
So I'm at the Wholehearted Studio in Dover, Delaware. It's 1169 Walker Road. It's wholeheartedstudios.net. And they could also reach out to me. You can make an appointment if they want to talk to me personally. They can also reach out to me through the website. I have a chat through there, and we can take it from there. All my information is on there. But that is a complete holistic studio. So there's not just my services. There's also Reiki, massage. So it's a beautiful place.
And you mentioned Reiki, and I was thinking about something earlier, and it just escaped my mind. And it was yoga and Reiki, and that's what I was thinking about earlier. Well, but yeah, you know, but that's what happens when your old car is sitting in the garage just rusting away. But but no, that was actually that was kind of interesting that you mentioned about the gut. I'm still that's what the only thing that keep playing in my mind is about cleaning out the gut, because it's going to recharge a
Hmm.
lot of things. Thought processes are going to change. Might become connected. Might become closer to what you consider to be your higher power. I guess,
Open up that
because
third
your thought
eye.
process is going to clear up. Thought process
Hmm.
is going to clear up, and there's going to be a lot more. There's going to be some more room up here. There's going to be a little more room up here. It's not going to be
Hmm.
so cluttered because you're cleaning yourself out, just like spring cleaning. So that's the
Yeah.
way I'm looking at it now. That's the way I'm looking at it now.
Your
But
neurons will fire again.
s- uh, see, I was about to end it, but you just mentioned about the neurons firing again. So this is going to be my last question. I'm serious about this. Is going to be my last question. So I
Okay.
mentioned earlier that I'm a person in recovery. Sometimes our brain just may not be doing what they're supposed to do. Does this practice uh not necessarily restore, but does it help with uh what is the mental health benefit to
Oh gosh,
holistic
yeah.
practice?
Oh yeah. We get the cognitive. You get your cognitive. Just the whole mental clarity is different, and it gets better and better and better as the as you continue to put the herbs and the teas and the tinctures. I have tinctures, soaps, I have lotions. So it doesn't just it's a full process. It's a life change, but it's for the better. And yes, you will think clearly, regardless of how. If you were a week clean, each day you get better and better and better, and your thinking becomes clearer, and it just helps. A lot of it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
Everything on this earth is healing.
So there was a question posed from Diasia Cherry. Uh I wasn't gonna mention it, but I'm gonna mention it. Diasia is my niece. But
Oh, okay.
she said, is
Hi.
is Tara taking on new clientele? So are you taking on new
Yes.
clientele?
Yes, I am.
You Okay, you are taking on new clientele, and what what does that process look like?
So you can actually go right on wholeheartedstudio.net, and there's a link on there to schedule. Or you I don't know, I mean, I think my phone number is on there too. I don't necessarily want to give my cell phone out on here,
Okay,
but
understood.
you can actually give her my phone number. Okay. That's your
Okay, and
niece. Yeah.
yes,
And I
and
gotta
she actually
schedule her.
said this is real good. Um, what else was there? Taking notes on this one. So you struck a chord with her. You struck a chord with her. At least and
Beautiful.
that's my goal. That's my goal every week to at least it sounds so cliche. It sounds so cliche when I was in rehab programs. If I could just reach one person, but
No.
that's what it is for me. So we both worked hard and we got that out of the way. So we
Okay.
reached one person at least. We know that. But I'm sure there'll be others. I'm sure there'll be others to come. But I would definitely
Good.
pass the information on. Is there anything else that you have to offer before we close out?
I don't think so. You asked some good questions.
I try. I try.
You actually
I
had
try.
me stumped for a little bit because I was thinking one thing, and so it's my first time on camera. So hey, thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Tara, for coming on tonight, and thank you for offering the information that you have. And I would definitely pass the information on, and maybe we can work something out as far as getting your information to other people.
Yeah,
Coming
definitely.
up soon. All right. So thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for being a part of the conversation. Thank you, Tara Z. Don't want to mess the name up again, but thank you for being a guest tonight on Live Chat Podcast. I appreciate you. Have a good night. Be
You
safe.
too.